Hey guys, welcome back. It's Sean Ray here, and today I'm going to be answering that question I get all the time, which is, does it take a full-time commitment to do Airbnb investing? And to quickly answer that question, it depends. And so I'm going to break down how it could be a full-time thing and how it could be a very, very part-time thing in this video, and we're going to cut it in half. So let's talk about why it could be a full-time thing and what you really need to know what you're getting yourself into before you invest in it. First of all, what you guys want to do is whenever you first put up your listing, then it's going to take a good amount of time to make sure all the details and everything in your actual profile is going to take a good full day of just playing around with it, unless you watch my videos and I already have the walkthrough and just do what I did in that video. And then also going into the property and taking pictures of your cell phone and then posting that up and then marketing it. That can be just one day gone, or at least half a day gone, especially if you work. And then if you're talking about like renovations, then renovations can take a month to 6 months, depending on how big the renovations are. And then once it's all done, say for instance you just buy a house and it's completely perfect the way it is, then ordering in the furniture and decorating it and then making sure everything is just perfect, that can take a week or more, depending on how intense you are as a person. I know some people that start ordering the furniture and have it completely up and ready to be listed within 3 days. If you don't know about this person named Sean Rakajic, he has an Airbnb automated channel. He goes over how he does those fast flips as well. But for a normal person, it's going to take probably about a week of just little nitpicky stuff, getting the silverware, bowls, glasses, like the mirrors and all that stuff set up, not just the beds and stuff. So that's like a week. And then once you get everything rocking and rolling, then that's whenever you start thinking about toning down back the time, because that is a huge investment, what we just went over. And then after that, every single week, you're going to have new guests coming in. If you don't pay for a cleaning service, which I highly recommend you do, but let's just talk about full time here, then you're going to be cleaning it yourself. And then each clean, each flip for a 3-bedroom house could take about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, because you're washing your own sheets. And then for a 4-bedroom flip, it could take 2 hours to 2.5 hours. It also depends if you have a party house or not, because if you have like an event house, then there's going to be much more damage and then much more trash thrown around. Even just handling the actual trash, all the trash bags, wheeling it out to the trash area, and then making sure everything's fine for the next guest, because the next guest is coming in like 2 or 3 hours. You gotta get the thing flipped. So that could be pretty time intensive. And then on top of that, you have to also figure in all your messaging. So you have to constantly be messaging people back and forth and being right on it all day. You can't let things last for like another hour or two, or else they'll go out and book with somebody else. So we're almost done, but not quite. Then if anything breaks, or if there's any kind of cancellations or whatever it is, then you have the Airbnb Resolution Center. And the Airbnb Resolution Center can take weeks of emails, back and forth, phone calls, all that stuff. And so when you factor in all these minor details and some other ones I haven't mentioned, then it could be a full-time job running a profitable Airbnb, just one. Especially if you have 2 Airbnbs, that's just, you're constantly dealing with stuff. And that's not even including if your washer and dryer breaks and you have to get a new one immediately, or your dishwasher isn't working, or the air conditioner is jacked and you have to get someone to come out and do the air conditioner. All sorts of stuff. Things always are happening, but you're making so much money that it makes sense. So that's if you want to do it full time. And I totally get that. If you have a part-time job or you don't have any job, then this could be just a really good source of income. Now let's talk about what happens to start automating it more and more. So one of the biggest time sucks is going to be the cleaning. And so if you can find a cleaning service that's already out there that does Airbnb cleaning, then you're set, because they already know how the schedules work. You can link them in as a co-host account, and then they can see your entire schedule, your calendar, and they can know when and where to show up. You don't have to constantly follow up with them. And so that is something that can really save you some time. And if you say that, for instance, you have 3 flips, maybe 4 flips a week, then if you're doing like 2 hours per cleaning, then you're saving yourself 6 to 8 hours a week in just cleaning alone, and then doing laundry and stuff. And no one really likes doing that anyways. Another thing that you can do is, like, I use Lawn Starter. I'm not saying it's the best thing, but whoever you recommend and what's in your area, Lawn Starter is an app on my phone, and they automate my mowing, like mowing my lawns and edging and everything like that. And that comes every 2 weeks. That way I don't have to worry about any of the yard stuff. So that's another way for you just to automate it. And then other than that, having someone, like for me, what I did is that I had an assistant already, and I started having him slowly work on just responding to messages and then setting up things here and there and just handling like the small stuff. That's whenever you start getting into that property management zone. So if you want to save yourself probably like 10 hours a week or so, just take care of the maid and the lawn care. And then for you to save the extra 20, 30 hours a week, whatever, depends on how intensive your Airbnb is, that's whenever the property manager comes in. So lastly, the full automation. I don't have to think about it, it's just mailbox money. That's whenever a property manager is necessary. You have to have a property manager for mailbox money. And what the property manager should be responsible for doing is managing everything. Everything from if there needs to be like a concrete slab broke in your driveway or something like that, then he knows the guy that can come out and repave it because of safety issues, or a step. Or if the lawn isn't looking good, then he can go out, or she can go out, go out and get a hold of the lawn starter and then suggest a new crew. If the cleaning service is not doing good, they should go every single time that there's someone that leaves, they should go in and walk the property, make sure everything looks good, make sure the cleaning crew is on their game. And so they're going to be your eyes on the property. If there's a pipe that bursts, any air conditioning issues, tree trimming services, whatever it is, if the lights in your backyard break or stop working, they can go out and buy new string lights, replace the lights. All these things, they are basically you at the property, but you don't have to be there. And then hopefully you can get them to the point to where they figure out how you talk to people, and then they can message your guests. Every time someone messages you, then they immediately message back and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm the property manager for Sean, in my case, and then this is how it works. It's really nice to meet you, and then what's the reasoning for your stay, how many guests are going to be with you, and then any kind of special requests or needs that you guys need, and they just go through it all for you. And so in the end, all you have to do is communicate with your property manager once a week, once a day. It just depends on how uptight you are on managing or delegating tasks. And then from there, you're just responding to them as like, how the property doing? You should just fully trust them in that case, and then go by the property once a week just to make sure that they're actually doing their job. And so in that way, then now they're doing all the stuff that you should be doing, and then on top of that, taking care of your Airbnb resolutions as well. And so if any kind of guests, you should have your cameras on the property. So if any guest is having more guests than they said they are, if they're smoking on the property, if they bring a pet, or they're having the parties or whatever it is, then it's up to them to attack the guests, the Airbnb Resolution Center, to get you that money back that the guest now owes you because they didn't follow your rules. And then they can just work as you, and then eventually they're like, hey, by the way, I just got you an extra couple $1,000, $7,000, $15,000 in one case, from one of my worst Airbnb guests ever. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it. Hopefully that answers your questions on if you can do it full-time, part-time, or like no time at all. And then in the next video, I'm going to be introducing you to my property manager. That way you get to put a face to the name, and then he can kind of go over what he does on a daily basis. And that way, whenever you're scouting for your own property manager in whatever city you're in, then you'll know exactly kind of the value that he brings, how much he costs, and then also how you can kind of structure your stuff. All right, guys, thank you so much. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, all that kind of fun stuff. I would love to get some engagement on some of these videos. And if you have any questions that you would like to see in future videos, like other video topics, then I would love to hear them, because I don't want to run out of ideas, and I want to give you the best content that I can give. All right, guys, see you later. See you next time. Oh yeah, and check out a video here. This is like a playlist, and this is a video. YouTube recommended this one especially for you, and this is how to get started in Airbnb investing.